Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to study break and continue statements. Along with that, we will also see else clauses which are used in loops. Okay. So this is 4.4. We are studying the subunits. Till 4.3, already the topics are covered. You can go and watch those videos. Okay. So the break statement breaks out of the innermost enclosing for or while loop. Okay, so break statement is used only with loops, and there are only two types of loops in Python, that is for and while, right? So if you're using break statement, then whichever is the innermost, right, in whichever block you're writing, the innermost one, that particular loop will break, okay, if that break statement gets executed. That means basically there is the loop is running in a certain way, right, it is having a certain kind of flow, but in middle only there is something, some such kind of condition has become true or something like that, where you don't want to move any forward and you just want to break the loop over there, right? So for that kind of situations you have to use the break statement. A for or while loop can include an else clause also. Okay, else most commonly it is used with if statements, right? And about if else I have discussed in the previous lectures. So, but otherwise, else is also used with for and while. Okay, so that how it is used, we are going to see in this lecture. In a for loop, the else clause is executed after the loop reaches its final iteration. So this is what you have to remember very nicely about for loops, okay? And the else clause which is used in for loops. So here what it is saying, that whatever you are writing in else clause, right, means after writing else you are performing some actions, okay? So that will be executed only when the loop is reaching the final iteration. Okay, that means let us say if any for loop you have written which is running from 1 to 10 maybe, right? So when it will be in the 10th iteration, right? So that time the else clause will get executed. Okay, so we will see the examples for that. So that is the case for loop. Okay, for both the loops, that is for loop, else clause works in a different way, and for while loop it works in a different way. Okay, so in case of a while loop, it's executed after the loop's condition becomes false. Okay, so remember here the situation is different and for loop situation is different. Okay, so here when the else clause is going to get executed when the condition is becoming false. Okay, so in either kind of loop, the else clause is not executed if the loop was terminated by a break. So this is common for both the loops, okay? That is that in middle only, let us say by break statement, the loops are getting broken. In that case, the else clause will not get executed. Okay, so I hope did you understood. Okay, because both actually the here whatever the condition is written for executing the else clause, that only will become that will only not exist, because by break, if the loop is breaking, in that case, in case of for loop, it is not reaching the final iteration maybe, right? And in case of while loop, the condition is not becoming false because just it is ending by break only. So that is why else clause is not executed if the loop is breaking by the break statement. Okay, now here one example is given and we can understand that how it is working. And so this particular program is written for prime numbers, okay, for checking prime numbers and printing them. So for this, you see how the loop is written. I will recommend you all that you pause the video and please try to understand the logic of this program if you're new and you don't have much idea about how to write programs for prime numbers and all. So, and after that you can continue with this video. So first of all, here what is happening for n in range 2 to 10, right? So that means basically from 2 to 9, because 10 will not be included. So from 2 to 9 we are checking all the prime numbers, okay, that which one is prime and which one is not. So first of all, that I hope you understood the first statement. After that, what is there? For x in range from 2 to n, okay, means basically what is a prime number? Prime number is such a number, right, which is only divisible by 1 and itself, and in middle, okay, that means from 2 to n minus 1, any other number should not divide that particular number n, right? And that is why you see inside that range has been taken, okay, from 2 to n. So n till n it will not go, right? That is excluded, so it will go till n minus 1 only. So from 2 to n minus 1 the loop is running, and we will check that whatever is my original number, which is n, that n is divided by any of this x or not. X is in the range of 2 to n minus 1, right? So one by one the numbers will be generated, and we will check that this n is getting divided completely by the x or not, okay? So that how we are checking n modulus x is equal to 0. That means if the remainder is coming 0, that means it is completely divisible, right? Now if that happens, then what we can understand, then we will say that n equals x, okay? As you can see here from the output, you can understand what they are trying to do here. So 4 equals 2 into 2. That means actually if this condition becomes true, that means it is not a prime number, right? So why it is not a prime number? Where it is failing? So that they are mentioning it, that it is getting divided by, means the multiplication of these two numbers is particularly this number. So that is why it is not a prime number, okay? And now you see they have used the break statement. That means what? That means as soon as you are finding one such number by which that n is getting divided, that means it is not a prime. Yes, it is not a prime number, right? So if it is not a prime number, then there is no point of moving ahead and checking more conditions, right? Checking other numbers also, that by other number also it is divisible or not, because you just have to check that it is prime or not. Once you already got that no, it is not prime, then there is no point of checking it further, right? Unnecessary computational power and all it will consume. So that is why it is better that we break it there and we move to the other number, right? So that is why here break statement is used. And after that, if you notice this else, if you see it properly, the indentations and all, this else is not exactly below this if, right? If it will be exactly below this if, then we can say that yes, this if and else are connected, okay? But here else is below this for, right? Else is below this for. That means this else is associated with for, not with if, okay? So this else is for the inner loop, this one, okay, not for the if statement. So first of all, that you be clear. And after that, here what is happening, in else what statement is written, print n is a prime number, okay? So that means if this condition is not becoming true ever, right, this condition is not becoming true ever from 2 to n minus 1, okay? So it will reach n minus 1. Now there also this condition is not true, so it will not break, and after that it will become n, condition will become false, right? So when it is reaching the last iteration, then it will, what it will do, it will come and print that n is a prime number, because it checked all the numbers till n minus 1, right? Now in the n minus 1, that last iteration also, it is that is the last, means it reached the last iteration. That means what? That it is a prime number, because any other number could not divide it completely. So then in the else part, we will print that it is a prime number. So that is the logic here, and that is the use of break statement and else here, right? So else will always get executed at the last iteration, okay? In the last, if the last you are reaching, that means till now any as such condition did not get broken. So in that case, what you should do, that you have to write in the else clause. So I hope it is clear. Little bit you dry run by yourself and you will understand. You can see all these outputs, that for 2 how they are printing prime number, for 3 how it is printing prime number, right? But for 4 and 6 some other kind of output is coming. So please dry run by yourself and check that how it is executing, and every time you will see that this else clause, okay, will get executed only in the last iteration. So I hope it is clear. Now what is written about that yes, this is the correct code, because most of the people are going to at first glance you will feel that this is wrong, because else is written outside, right? So you may think like this, that the indentation is not followed and you will get error, but no, it is not like that, and that's what they have written here. Look closely, the else clause belongs to the for loop, not the if statement, which I already said. Now, so when used with a loop, the else clause has more in common with the else clause of a try statement than it does with that of if statement. Okay, so that means what it is saying, that whenever we are using the else clause with a loop, then it works more similar to the else clause of try statement. Now, I don't know you know about try statement or not. If you don't, then in the upcoming lectures we are going to study, so don't worry about that. If you don't know, you can skip this para, but those who are knowing about try, except, finally, right, all these things, then you can understand that in try also we can use else clause. So here this particular else works like that more, right, rather than looking similar to if else. In if else the rule is little different. So that's what it is trying to say. A try statement's else clause runs when no exception occurs, right? Those who have studied about this, you may know that inside means along with try we can write else statement, right? So that else, when it executes, when none of the exception occurs, then, right? So here also it is happening in a similar way. When none of the condition becomes false, then here else is getting executed, since it is reaching the last iteration. Okay, so that's what similarity is shown here, that its behavior is similar to which else. Okay, all right. And a loop else clause runs when no break occurs, right? So for more on the try statement and exceptions, you can see this link, handling exception, as I said. And so you can go and visit that, but otherwise if you are a beginner, then we will study about this later, so that time you can go through it. All right, so I hope it is clear that how this else and all has been used and how this break statement is working. Okay, after that we are having the continue statement. So it is also borrowed from C, because in C also we are having continue statement, and from C only it is borrowed in C++ and Java also. Okay, so what is the role of continue? It continues with the next iteration of the loop. Okay, so let us say the loop is running the first iteration, second iteration. Okay, and maybe some there specific some condition is also there. Okay, now it can happen that, let us say, if one condition is becoming true, then after that, you know, whatever rest over statements are there, you don't want to execute that, you want to continue with the next iteration. So for that kind of situation, we use the continue statement. So you can understand here through this example. Here what is given, that for num in range. Okay, so number is in the range of 2 to 10, which means from 2 to 9 actually the numbers will get generated. Now it is checking for even, right? By the condition only you can understand num modulus 2 is equal to 0. In that case, what it is doing, print found an even number. So you have to print that found an even number, and then printing the number also, and then continue from that. Okay, so that means go to the next number now and check again that it is even or not. Understood? So that is how they have written. And okay, so here what is happening, see, like the first number is 2. Okay, so 2 modulus 2 is equal to 0, condition is true, it will come here, it will print found an even number 2. Okay, which is the first output line you can see. After that it is continuing, that means it will go to the next iteration, which is 3 now. So that is why, although this statement is written outside of if, so generally it should get printed every time, right? But that is not going to happen because of the continue statement. It will continue completely with the next iteration, and left over whatever statements are there, they will get neglected. Okay, so here this statement will not get printed. Okay, so it will go with 3. Now 3 modulus 2 equal to 0, the condition is false, and because of that it will not enter here. Since it will not enter, continue statement will not get executed, and then it will fall to this particular statement and print found an odd number. Okay, so that is how it is happening. It is very similar to else actually, right? In general, if you don't know about continue statement, what you would have done, that if num modulus 2 is equal to 0, then print found an even number, else print found an odd number. So generally we do like that, but otherwise if you don't want to use else statement and all, you can use continue also. Okay, so that is what is there in this particular continue statement. Okay, all right. After that we are having the pass statement. So here the pass statement does nothing. Literally, it does nothing, right? Then why to use it? So of course there are some purposes of it. So it can be used when a statement is required syntactically but the program requires no action. So it can happen in situations when, let us say, that particular statement you have to write, okay, but inside that any action you don't have to perform, right? If such kind of situation is there, then we use the pass statement. That means you see here the example here, what is written? While true, right? So while true, so true is always true, this condition, because here any limitation is not there. That means, right, it is to infinite loop, it will keep on running, okay. Now if I'm writing while true, inside something I have to write, I cannot keep it completely blank. In that case you will get error. So we will see that practically, that you will get error in this case. So something you have to write, but again you don't want to perform any action, means any action is not required, you just want to wait. You see here where it is used, busy wait for keyboard interrupt. Okay, so for keyboard interrupt and all these things you can understand when you study something in operating system level and computer organization architecture. There we study about keyboard interrupts, okay, and all these things. So basically it means that, let us say, you need input, right? You have like this some Python program, if you write and you're taking user input, then of course the cursor waits there, right, for the user input. Now it may happen that you got busy and you went, so still it is waiting only there, right? The cursor is waiting. Now once you come back, you give some input, after that the program continues. So till that time it is simply waiting, but it does not have to perform any action. So for that kind of thing, internally something is implemented now. For that you have not written any instruction to wait, but internally some implementation is there. So the implementation is similar to this, where maybe some while statement is written which is true. That means it has to execute continuously until and unless some input is given, but again any action you don't have to perform there. So in that case we can add pass statement. So that means it syntactically it became valid also, that inside while something is there, but that something is such which is not performing any action. So that is the meaning of this. I hope you understood it. Please do some practicals, you will get a better clarity. Okay, now also this is commonly used for creating minimal classes. Let us say some class you want to create, and in that class right now you have not written anything, any such method, objects, constructors, nothing is present. In that case also you can just write pass. Okay, so another place pass can be used is as a placeholder, and this is what is the most common purpose of using pass. Generally programmers use for this purpose only, okay, that it is used as a placeholder for a function or conditional body when you are working on new code, allowing you to keep thinking at a more abstract level. So what happens when, let us say, very big program or software you're writing, that time you are not very clear that internally at the very atomic level what all things you will need, okay, but overall structures you need, right, that if this is my application, these classes I need, and overall these methods I need. So at least that basic structure you want to make and keep for the program, and then you might think that acha later I will implement everything, but right now these are the overall at an abstraction level, these are the things which I require, right? So that overall structure if you want to make, then how can you make? If you're writing, if you know that one function I will need like this, okay, init log, but inside that what implementation is required, that you don't know, okay, but if you simply write it like this, then you will get error. So to pass from the syntax errors and all, you should use pass statement. In that case the overall structure you can make and keep it by writing pass statement everywhere. After that, when real implementation you are doing, then you can do it by removing the pass statement, okay. So as it is written, remember to implement this. That means you will implement it later. So for all these purposes, pass statement is used. So although it does nothing, but for nothing also there are some uses in this world. So that's how it is used. Okay. So this was about break, continue, and pass. Let us quickly see some of the examples of this in the terminal, and then I will end this lecture. Okay. So first of all, break statement, let us see one very simple example I'll take, and that is for I in range, okay, something, let us say 2 to 8. Directly I am giving the values, okay, 2 to 8. Now here I will check some condition, I have to come inside. So here if if let us say I is greater than 5. Okay, if I is greater than 5, in that case what to do? In that case, print that values are now greater than 5. Okay, like this you can write, and then break it. Means if it is greater than 5, till 5 only you print the numbers, more than that I don't want to go, so break the loop there. Okay, so I can break it here. Okay, now else we can print the numbers maybe, right? So print I. Okay, and we can just end this with comma. Okay, so this is my overall program, and let us see what kind of output we are going to get. So what is coming now? So we started from 2, right? So 2 is greater than 5? No. So the condition was false, and that is why it came here. Remember here, this else is for this if, right? Because it is inside for, not exactly below for. Okay. So that is why it is with the if statement. So that is why if the if statement becomes false, this else will get executed. Okay. So else we are having this statement of printing, that is why it is printed the number 2. Okay, after that it will become 3. So 3 is also not greater than 5, so 3 is printed, 4 is printed, 5 is greater than 5, this condition is false because it is greater than equal to, that is why this number is also printed. After that what happened? When it became 6, now 6 is greater than 5, yes, condition is true, so it came here and it printed the line that values are now greater than 5, and the loop broke. Did you notice? Actually, if I would not have given this break statement, then for 6 and 7 also it should have run, but it did not, and the loop broke here. Okay, so this is the use of break statement. Okay, so here this is a very simple program actually. It is, but otherwise if let us say too many computations you're doing, but let us say some such kind of condition you checked by which you got the clarity, you know, that this is maybe such kind of number or this string is satisfying this condition. So once you got the clarity, after that there is no point of checking it further, and you can break it there. Okay, so that is the main purpose. After that, let us see for continue also. So for I in range, let us say something. Okay, let's say 1 only. So till 1 till 11 we can go, so that it goes till 10, and after that, so very similar example I am taking. If let us say I modulus, here I am taking 3. Okay, in the documentation 2 was there, so let us take 3. So if I modulus 3 is equal to 0, then we can simply print divisible by 3. Okay, and we can print the number also, that is I, and then we can continue. Okay, continue. Okay, and then here actually else we could have used. Okay, but that else is not required. We can now directly, since we will continue directly, so after that we can print, because those numbers which are not divisible by 3, they will automatically come to this statement. Okay, and you can print not divisible by 3 like this. Okay, and then you can print the number as well if you want. And so now let us see what is happening. Okay, so you see here 1 2 3 4 like this, the numbers have got generated till 10. Okay, and now for 1 it is not divisible by 3, right? 2 is also not divisible by 3, 3 is divisible by 3. Okay, 6 is divisible by 3. So like this the output has come. So here I did not had to use else statement directly. By writing continue statement we could write the same logic. Okay, so that is how continue is used. Okay, all right. After that we were having the pass statement also, right? So let us see the pass one. And okay, so actually else clause was also there. Let us see the else first. So else we can see here again a very simple code, that is I in range from 1 to 11 maybe, okay, or 1 to 6, 1 to 5 it will generate the numbers. Okay, now here a very simple statement we can write, that is print the value is and then I. Okay, so the value it will print 1 2 3 4 like this. Okay, and after this I will give the else also. By this clearly you can understand that in which iteration exactly at what point it is executing the else clause. Okay, so here we can print another statement, that is else clause got executed. Okay, got executed. So now we can, and here you see any if statement is not there, right? So here this else is for this, means for the for loop, right? Okay, so now if I hit enter, so see what happened. The value is 1, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 till 5 it executed, and since that was the last iteration, so there also what got executed, else clause got executed. Okay, so here actually what we could have done, you can also print the value of I in the else clause to understand that what is the iteration. Okay, so I'm writing the same thing again just for clarifying one thing, that is value is, after that you can just print the value of I here, and after that here else will be there, and then when you're coming here, print else clause got executed, and then here with this you print the I value also and see that what is the iteration. Okay, that means when it is 5, that time it is executing, or after completing the for loop when it is becoming like 6, at 6 the condition is false, right? So that time it is executing. So let us see that what is happening here. So you see what is happening. So the value was 1 2 3 4 5, this is same as it is, and else clause got executed, and then what is the value, 5 is the value. So in the last iteration it got executed. Okay, so that's what I wanted to explain you. Okay, that later on if it becomes 6 also, then so it is not, such kind of case is not there. It is exactly whichever is the last iteration, that time the else clause is getting executed. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let us go for while statement and let us see that there what is happening. Okay, so in case of while, actually some variable you have to take, that is I is equal to, we can take 6 only. So while, okay, it will start from there. Okay, so or we can just decrease the value. So while I is greater than 0, I is greater than 0, what to do? Print what? Print the value, right? So print I, and you can end this with some comma and all, and after that what you have to do, you have to decrease the value of I also, otherwise it will remain infinite loop. So you can write here I is equal to I minus 1, right? After this, here I will be writing the else statement. See, the line of while and else is aligning, right? So that means this else is for the while statement. Okay, so else we can execute, we can print the same statement here, that is else got executed, and print the value of I. Okay, so this is my program, and let us see what is happening. So see, 6 5 4 3 2 1, and here you see it is not 1, it is now 0. The value of I is 0, because if you remember the documentation, there it was said that in case of while, the else gets executed when we are out of the while loop. That means when the condition of while becomes false. So when condition will become false? When it is 0, because then it will be 0 greater than 0. In case of 1, it is 1 greater than 0. Condition is still true. So it is executing. And then I will become 0, right? Now 0 greater than 0, when the condition is becoming false, then it is coming out of the while loop and then it is printing else got executed. So this is the difference between for and while. Understood? In case of for, when the condition will become false, if the I value becomes 6, right? Then in that case 6 should be printed. But no, in case of for, it is 5 only. That means in the last iteration, when it is currently in the last iteration, that time else is getting executed. But in case of while, when it is coming out of the loop, when condition is becoming false, then else is executed. So this is a subtle difference between the two. Please remember this. Okay. All right. After that, we can now see the past statement. So actually what will happen, if I am writing like this, if true, like this, okay, and if I don't write anything, maybe, okay, that some kind of if else I need, but I don't know what condition to write, what actions to perform. I am not clear with these things. So I just want to keep it blank, okay. But in that case, if I hit enter, I will get error. What error is coming? Indentation error is coming. Understood? So that means I cannot leave it like this. Expected an indented block after if statement on line 1. Okay, so it is expecting something, but we have not provided. Same thing goes with maybe for also, for I in range, let us say I am writing 1 to 5. Okay, so this I know that from 1 to 5 I have to do something. Know exactly what to do, which list will come or str will come. I'm not clear with these things. Okay, so I just want to keep it blank. But if I try to do that, I cannot do and I will get indentation error. So this is the problem which happens. Okay, so in this case what to do? Then in this case you can keep here for I in range 1 comma 5. Okay, now inside you don't know what to do, so at least write pass statement. So I will be writing here pass. Okay, that means it is not doing anything, but also it will not give any error. So you see it prompted for the secondary prompt, right? Here it was not doing, here directly it gave the error. Okay, but it is expecting some other thing, and if you are not having anything to do here, just press enter and see it got executed. The primary prompt also came and any error message I did not get. So this is the reason why pass is used. If you don't know that this for loop I will use, but for what you don't know, then for that kind of purposes you can use pass statement. Okay, so I hope this break continue statements are clear to you. So I am keeping the lecture till here, and in the next lecture we will be discussing about the math statement, okay, which is 4.6. So stay tuned with us. Thank you.